Big mistake. Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
Have you ever thought of why you cannot stop shopping? I never did, because I never thought about my shopping as an issue until I was 37 and realized that my future was going to suffer if I didn't do something about it. Before that, shopping was just something I did. These are things I want to discuss in this video. I'm going to discuss why we shop, why we excessively spend, and then go into the delineation I see between excessive spending, over consuming, maybe compulsive shopping, and then actual, you're a shopaholic. You are a shopping addict. And I'm gonna weirdly use alcoholism to compare those two concepts, excessive spending versus being a shopaholic and having a shopping addiction. To start, I will go over my framework for this world. I don't wanna get too deep into it because it's really not that interesting. For some it might be, but we live in what we call like a free market, capitalistic society in which, let's just say, I'll give you the real definition of capitalism on the screen. I won't read it out to you because you're gonna just glaze over as I did when I was doing some reading about capitalism. But basically, let's just say that you have free actors, meaning you have business owners, you have people who own corporations. They're all independent actors who are in this world making products that people decide whether they want to buy or not. And prices are going to be decided by what you decide to buy. So at this price, I will accept this. At this price, I'll accept that. An augmented price I might take because it shows me social status, whatever it is. So you're setting free market prices, supply and demand is king. Then when private actors, when these corporations, they want to profit. So they're putting out their products, and in their advertising, and people are seeing the way other people are living. They are seeing items that they can't live without. They are deciding to buy. When you get all that advertising, when you see the Joneses with their X, Y, and Z item, you are feeling like you're either getting behind, so we want to replace things, we want new things, we are just acquiring more, and more. And now, because of advertising on our phone every 5 seconds of the day, instead of just like seeing your friends on your Facebook, whatever, or your Instagram feed, you are seeing advertisements or people living a great life, or actors and reality show stars who are more beautiful than ever because of their makeup products, the workouts that they're doing, the places they're going to eat. So you are invested in every part of your life, everywhere that you look, whether it be your phone, in real life, you're being advertised to. And this is in the, not short term, but this is what causes likely overconsumption, then excessive spending, and then in its most extreme form, you're getting that shopping addiction. So this is just a very rudimentary construct that I'm making for you of like how things trickle down and why it is that we are shopping so much or feeling like we need so much, or even that what we are buying is actually making us happy. So I want to discuss 6 reasons why you might feel like you can't stop shopping. The first one is that you are unaware that your shopping is basically a habit or something that you're doing out of boredom, or just it's completely mindless. And this was completely me.
No. Shopping is my cardio.
In my childhood, in my teen years, I was watching Pretty Woman. I thought of myself as a very fashionable young lady. I wanted to have access to all those fashions.
I would kill to live in LA. That close to that many shoes?
So I wanted to go to college in a city. I ended up going to college in a city in California, and I was obsessed with the idea of going shopping every weekend. So in that way, not really thinking about things that are making me happy necessarily, shopping was just one of those hobbies that I had. I would go shopping almost every weekend. There was never enough clothes. I was building, I have a collection of tank tops. I have a collection of XYZ item, and all you wanted was more. And it just doesn't really relate in your mind to not think that you should be shopping or doing other things. And then all the girls I lived with in my dorm, they are also shopping. Their parents came in and added extra rows of bars for their closets because a little dorm room closet is not going to suffice for all these girls who have these shopping habits. So just getting out of the frame of mind that shopping is honestly an acceptable use of your time. Like you don't need anything. You just want to be out and about and doing things. That's a problem. And that is a direct result of probably the consumerist society that we live in. So trying to, and this is really to me, my whole wake up about money has been to realize that I have bought so many things in the past and I've always been on the lookout for something else. And there is nothing that is going to actually satisfy me or make me feel complete, happy, and whole for a long period of time. There are items that I've bought that I love completely, that I've worn out, and that's great, and that I actually need something to replace it with. But the shopping that I was doing is just like, it's consuming. It is just getting more and more and not realizing that there is no limit to how much more you can get. So that is me now as an adult, knowing that just buying more and more clothes is just going to drain my accounts and not actually give me anything long term. So that's the first thing. Mindless boredom habit, whatever you want to call it. Shopping is just kind of filling time for you, making you feel like you are busy and making you feel like you have an interesting life, honestly, because you're out and about and doing things. The next thing I would say is emotional spending.
I don't begrudge her boyfriend. I wonder if they have that my size.
I want to say that this has not included me at all, because when I'm happy, I'm not going shopping. When I'm sad, I'm not going shopping. I was just going shopping. But when I thought about it, I would go shopping after almost every single medical school test that I had. Whether I felt I did well or whether I thought I did poorly. Probably every 2 weeks, I was going to the mall, going to get a pedicure, and then browsing the shops, which usually meant buying some kind of gray, black, white shirt or something like that. Very simple, very simple taste, but I always want just another shirt, another option in the closet. That could be emotional spending. This is Cher Horowitz going through her life, making people mad, and then, ooh, I hope they have that in my size. That is a very typical thing for some people, whether they are feeling very hungry. Wow, that was weird. So whether the people who experience this more strongly are feeling down and they want that dopamine hit to feel better with something nice they buy themselves, or they're feeling elated and feel like I deserve XYZ because I am in a medical school and I just took a test, or because I just got into college, or whatever the case may be, there's always a reason to celebrate. I like to think about this more in terms of food. So there are some people who will eat a ton of food if they're feeling down, and there's some people who just can't even consider eating when they're feeling down. I wish I was that kind of person, but because I can eat it anytime. But that is the same thing with shopping. Some people just need a little more regulation. What would make this situation even better? A new dress, a new toner, a new liquid foundation, whatever it is that you like to buy. That is a second thing. You are using shopping to regulate your emotions. The next thing would be that you are, and I would say this is kind of everybody, you are trying to create your identity. You see yourself in a certain way, and shopping is gonna be the thing that gives you armor for the outside world and shows people, and then reflects on you how you want people to see you. So this would be any season. So if you got into Cowboy Carter, and not necessarily buying things to go to her concert, because I mean, honestly, you do have to dress up for that, right? It would be just every season you find, oh my gosh, yes, I totally identify with this style of dress. I need to buy this, that, and the other thing to show people that I'm up on the trends and that I'm living this life. It could be that you are in on that old money trend and you're trying to look like Sophia Richie, that's her name. You're trying to look like old money, and that really appeals to you because they're such timeless pieces. We're goth in high school. Any way that you are trying to expose yourself to the world is fine, but your shopping might be continually trying to create that identity. So you're trying to show other people something about yourself. And again, this is like an endless, thankless task because nobody really cares. If you really think about it, everybody's thinking about themselves. And I mean, yes, if you look very nice, people are going to tell you look nice. It can give you a little dopamine hit from that. You know what? Speaking of dopamine hits, give me a dopamine hit. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. That really gives me a dopamine hit. The 8 times that I've gotten a subscription, it's been excellent. So think about that. Anyway, if you are trying to feel better by what you're putting out in the world and you are spending money on this identity, it is, again, just something that will never, ever fully fulfill you because you're looking for outside validation for something that is an inside job. So that's the third thing. The identity you're trying to create, you're never fully going to get there because there's never enough clothes. There's never long enough times when the fashion that you're trying to use is in style, that is going to actually make you feel good. The fourth thing I would say is that something I identify with very much is your insecurities driving your shopping. So for me, whenever I gain weight, I am more apt to shop. I am trying to cover up whatever expanding waistline I have. I'm trying to buy the perfect black outfit so people can't tell that I've gained weight. And I've realized this about myself making this video, honestly. I really didn't think about it until I was just thinking through the reasons why I personally went shopping. And I always want to shop more when I've gained weight. And when I have lost weight in the past, I am very content with the closet that I have. Everything fits so well. Everything is fine. I look good in everything. And I don't have that urge to shop as I do when I'm trying to compensate. So is your shopping due to your insecurities? Do you understand that? Do you notice that? Because it's something that I really did not notice until I really stepped back to think about it. And there is a difference between, if you gain weight and you need new clothes because you need to be comfortable, and squeezing yourself into something that doesn't fit can be demoralizing and painful. But beyond that, if you are just trying to buy extra things because you're going to hide this 5-pound weight gain or whatever it is, just realize it might be that you need to, and I'm not saying that you need to go lose weight, but it could be that the lack of comfort you're feeling would be better served by you actually pushing back from the table, actually taking a look at your diet and the changes that you've made that has you gaining weight, rather than just spending money on clothes, feeling bad about yourself and having spent the money. So if you are inclined, if it's something where you are feeling not good about yourself and you want to do something about it, it might be that you do something about it before you're looking towards buying clothes. I know that in the past that would have helped me a lot, just to realize that I kept shopping because I'm trying to fill an insecurity that I actually need to fill by taking care of myself better. Number 5 kind of goes in with the last one, but are you just suffering generally from low self-esteem? Are you shopping because you feel that you have seen happier people, you've seen people online, even friends who have gotten certain items and seem like they are on top of the world, and they're just portraying an image of being happy, self-assured, and are you shopping in order to see if you can get that feeling too? That would be something that I would think about very much so, especially if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Your shopping is because you've seen this on somebody else. You saw this girl in your class, if you're in school, college, whatever, or at work, who it just looks really good on, and you just want some of that confidence that she has or he has. It could be that you're shopping to fill a need that, again, won't be filled by something external to you. That continual shopping, trying to be like somebody else, is not ever going to actually work. The last reason you're shopping might be due to that classic "I have nothing in my closet" feeling. And that also has to do with the "this is so you." So both of these, I'm going to explain both of them, but to me they kind of work together, because when you are saying that you have nothing in your closet, you have a closet full of clothes, but you're somebody who shops all the time, this was definitely me. It's just, again, you're not going to be fulfilled ever by going shopping, because that isn't the item, the clothes, or anything that is actually going to make you feel fulfillment. It is something that is an inside job. Again, it's going to be something that you realize you're fine with the things that you have, and in the end it doesn't really matter what you're wearing anyway. So this is so you. This is something that whenever I would shop and with a friend or my mom or whoever, and they say that quote, "This is so you," it's like, that is so me. This is really on the kind of thing that I usually buy. So of course I should have this one too, even though I have a closet full of black shirts and still don't feel like I have the right black shirt to wear. I need this one to make myself feel fulfilled. And then that is the same thing as I don't feel like I have anything to wear, but then you have shopped every weekend for the past 3 years and you still don't have the right thing to wear. So you are just shopping again to fill a void that's unfillable. So that's the last one of these kind of reasons why you might be shopping. Let me know what you identify with, or if there's something you would add to that, because again, it's not an exhaustive list, and I'm picking things that I've definitely felt before. Of course, there's going to be things that I don't even think about that should be on this list, so drop them in the comments if you have any. So I want to discuss how I conceive of or conceptualize the difference between being an excessive spender, compulsive shopper, whatever, versus a shopaholic or somebody who has a shopping addiction. To do that, I want to bring in alcoholism, because in medicine, when we discuss somebody who's an alcoholic, now we use alcohol use disorder instead of saying an alcoholic, but I'm going to use alcoholic because it's a little shorter and people understand what I'm saying when I'm saying that. An alcoholic is somebody where the alcoholism or the act of drinking is not stopped despite basically ruination of the alcoholic's life. So you are shopping despite ruining your interpersonal relationships, despite your health deteriorating. You might be going to the hospital, having to get fluids, do whatever, because you are drinking so much and then not eating and then having imbalances in vitamins, minerals, whatever it is. You might be expending all your money and leaving your family or yourself in financial ruin. So many aspects of your life are being ruined by your habit. For shopping addiction, excessive spending and all that, I would count myself as in the past as being an excessive spender. And because I never went into credit card debt, I would say that you couldn't put me in that category of being a shopaholic, even though that was my hobby. I did it all the time and everything like that, but I didn't ever go into debt. And it could be because I have, family structure. I had somebody fall back on, and in the back of my mind, I always knew that if something came up, I had another option to get money if I needed it badly. So that might just be the unfairness of birth, basically. But for some people, you are overspending, going to credit card debt because of consumer items, because you had to take that trip, because you had to buy that dress. And so you're going to debt, and there's that kind of part of the spectrum. But the other part of the spectrum might just be that you're hiding purchases from your spouse. You are lying about the shopping you're doing. So on some spectrum where you are lying, so you're creating some interpersonal difficulty and conflict versus actually secretly going into debt, dragging family into debt, and then just making future years' life difficult, having to file bankruptcy, those things. You're continuing to shop even though it's creating so many problems in your life. You might see with an alcoholic that they continue to drink despite the ruination, the things that are going on in their lives, they can't stop. And of course, alcoholism, you are dependent on a substance, whereas in shopping addiction, it's a behavioral addiction. It's kind of the similarities kind of stop there, because I would argue that alcoholism is a much worse addiction than being a shopping addict, which might seem obvious to some people. This is just my opinion, because in other videos I've watched about shopping and shopping addiction, some people try to argue that they're on par, and I don't think you can work in the emergency department and argue that. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense, that how I would conceive of the difference between a shopping addiction and excessive spending. The fact is, though, that both of these things, being a shopping addict, being an excessive spender, can lead to very real problems. With excessive spending, your problems are going to be less, maybe long lasting or catastrophic. But still, the fact that you are spending money, maybe spending exactly what comes in and not saving for the future, that's problematic, because no one is going to come to save you. You are going to have to be able to provide for your future. And, I love when I have patients who say that they plan to marry rich, and I'm just like, that's great, but you want to try to be the person you want to marry. My leading advice for my young patients is that I don't want them to depend on anyone, because that's how you get into trouble too. With the understanding that both shopping addiction and excessive spending can lead to some problems, let's discuss how to improve it. I would say that if you are a shopping addict, if you are somebody who has really creating more and more problems but cannot stop shopping, your solutions are going to be based in solutions that help addicts, right? So if you think about an alcoholic, they are going to Alcoholics Anonymous, they're doing a 12-step program. Basically, they're getting community. So if you are suffering from a shopping addiction, you probably need similar community. There are Shopping Addicts Anonymous kind of groups. There are, of course, internet pages. There are blogs. There are people who do a lot of YouTubing who are shopping addicts, and it would behoove you to follow those people and get involved. And you could even have somebody, a like-minded person that you meet online or that you have in real life, who is a champion for you, who if you want to buy something, you can talk to them. And like many people who are alcoholics, the goal would be to just not do that thing, have that behavior that day. You're gonna buy something one day, you might excessively spend one day, but it's not today. And you keep trying to kick that can down the road. So those are two different things. Community Maybe a sponsor, like a shopping sponsor almost is, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's important. I mean, if it's an addiction, it's an addiction. And then thirdly, just trying to put some distance between you and the shopping. You're a shopping addict, but you're not going to be a shopping addict today. You're not going to spend money today. The next thing I would say is, if you have a shopping addiction, it might be that you have an underlying issue. You might be depressed. You might have anxiety. You might be OCD, where that shopping compulsion is just so great that you can't overcome it with thoughts alone. And it could be that you need to seek treatment from a psychiatrist or even have a therapist so you can discuss cognitive behavioral therapy. You can get help to change your habits and change the way you think about money and shopping. But also, if you have a therapist and you need medical help, it could be that you get a psychiatrist so that you can get on an SSRI or another medication. If you are more of an excessive spender, and so you're not maybe needing these bigger addict-based solutions, it still can help. All of those can help, even somebody who just has a shopping addiction, obviously. But again, just putting distance between you and the thing that you're trying to buy is important. So saying that barring things that you actually need, like food, water, whatever, if something comes into your mind that you want to buy, you're putting some distance between you and that purchase, just even if it's a day, just not automatically having it pop into your mind and then having you buy it on Amazon 2 seconds later. Put some distance in between you and your shopping. The next thing I would say for me, for somebody who just like shopped when they're bored, just shopped is a habit, is to stay your ass inside. That is something I think about all the time. You know, it's Saturday morning, I don't have to work or something. I am like,
well, if I just pop out here, I could go look at this.
And then I'm like, no, that's automatic money that you might be either buying to eat something or buying just because you're out and you see something that actually would work well in your life that you might actually benefit from. But do you actually need it? No. So really thinking about your needs and your wants. And then if you don't need anything, stay inside, read a book. That leads into the next thing. Have a different hobby. Whether it is that you're getting out by going on a walk or meeting up with a friend, so you guys can go on a walk together and just talk about this season of Love Island, whatever you want to do. You have to fill that time that you would be doing that addictive behavior, whether it's shopping or eating or whatever, with something else. And often, like, I want a book. I want to be able to read, get into another world. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to stay at home and be on my treadmill, something to just fill that time where you used to go shopping and spending. Some people like the idea of, instead of filling that Amazon cart with different purchases, they're just putting the thing in their cart and not buying it. But to me, that's kind of dangerous. Just the act of still engaging in the same habits, but hopefully not buying the thing. It's just a little too close for comfort for me. I just couldn't handle that, honestly. But I feel like some people I've seen online, it works really well. And then taking that a step further, where I've seen people who put the things in their cart that they would otherwise have bought, tally that up or just add it up. You know, you're not in the 1950s. Add it up and then save that money instead of buying the thing, but they put that money into the market or they put it in their high yield savings account because in the past they would have definitely bought those items. That would be helpful. There are the other things that people talk about, sending money. If you buy something, you're going to have to send money to an organization that you hate. Those kind of things that you've read about in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. He has a whole outline of things that you can do to change your habits and change the things you do. But these are just a couple that I would suggest to you. Really, I think it's important to be able to conceptualize the distinguishing factors between excessive spending and being a shopaholic or a shopping addict, and just realizing why you're shopping so that you can change it. Basically, if you can conceive of what's happening in your world, these are the things you can change. So hopefully this video helped you get there. Have a good day.